If you want to play a game, you know I'm
No,
ready.
okay. The only things I want to do, I'm sweating because it just got so deep.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to Blondies Out Loud. We're your Blondies. We're just like two best mates babbling about life with freaking awesome guests.
Yes.
Really great games. And
Yes.
of course, absolutely no politics.
Because we are allergic.
Damn right we are. We are blonde in color.
Blonde in nature.
Let's do this thing. All right, Daxton, we've got a awesome lineup today. I'm thrilled
we're
to be
still
here.
sponsored.
Yes.
We didn't lose our sponsor after last week.
We did not lose our sponsorship, guys. Shucked are back. And if you listen to the last week's episode, you will remember this gorgeous bottle of Shucked bourbon. And don't forget, you can get your own bottle at www.shuckedbourbon.com. And we got our own code.
And we got our code Blondie25, and it was doing so well. They're extending the card.
Yeah, the code now works.
They're extending the card, and it works
until March 31st.
Yeah.
So you've got till the end of March. You'll get $25 off when you buy 2 bottles or more. So go and use our code. Helps us.
Yeah.
Helps Shucked, which is a Broadway thing.
Yeah, it helps Broadway community and Broadway, Bourbon, Blondies, the Triple Bs. We love the Triple B.
And our
guest is another
B. Bolt Prattes. Is that his name?
Bolt Brats?
Because it's B's. Bolt Prattes. Brat Summer. It's Brat Summer.
It's Prattes.
Prattes. Oh, no.
You don't even know our guest's last name.
It's Prattes.
You're mad at me. You're mad at me.
No.
You're mad at me because I didn't have like this whole intro written out, and then you're trying to be cute.
Which is why I'm very excited to hear this introduction.
Yeah.
Straight off the cuff. Daxton, please tell the Blondie Out Loud crew who we've got today.
I've been trying to get this guest for months now.
Yeah.
He's
booked.
He is booked and blessed. He's recently been seen in the Netflix Christmas movie, The Merry Gentleman. And if you watched it,
it's a hoot.
It's a hooty toot toot, but he takes his shirt off. Mm-hmm. He's currently in Aladdin on Broadway, playing a principal role, which we will find out the name because I forgot.
We're going to get into that.
He has so many things, but my ultimate favorite, because I'm obsessed with her, he was in the Pink music video that
oh yeah.
And I'm sure he's probably talked about it a million times, but I don't care.
You think he wants to talk about it again?
I don't care. He has no choice. He either has to talk about it or take his shirt off, or both.
Oh, wow.
And we'll talk about that too. Okay. Please welcome to the Blondies podcast, my favorite BILF.
Oh, BILF. This is new.
BILF.
Okay.
My favorite BILF.
Which stands for?
We'll find out in the end of the podcast. Colt Prattes! Get your ass on that camera. Bam.
Oh,
damn.
my
Wasn't that
Lord.
intro amazing?
What a fantastic intro. I can't believe that seems like it must have been rehearsed.
Yeah.
That was
so clean.
That's called improv and called 4 weeks of groundlings.
Yeah. Oh, you did 4 weeks of groundlings?
6, I think.
It's showing.
6
It's nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
I didn't pass.
Well done.
I didn't pass.
Colt, you are an absolute legend for coming on with the Blondies today. I'm noticing no blonde hair, though, so you're this brunette.
Yeah, I tried to wear, this is the closest I had to a Blondie's hat.
Perfect.
So it's a bluish gray hat, and that's the best I could do.
I respect it.
What color? Are your eyes blue? Do you have blue eyes?
No, they're green.
Okay.
Okay.
But maybe, I don't know.
Well,
I mean, the eyes do pop on camera.
There's a place you can go. Hayden will give it to you after the end of the thing.
You need contacts?
Yeah.
I got you covered.
Hit me.
Cole, you're in New York right now.
Yeah.
It's your
I'm
day
in
off.
New York right now.
It's your day off.
It is.
Living your
Monday's
best life.
dark. Let's go.
You're currently in Aladdin.
Yes.
On Broadway.
And I play Kasim.
That's what it was. I couldn't remember. I saw him.
Don't worry.
I got to see you.
That's like being at the stage door every day where people are like, you were
that one.
And we sing a song. It's like the second number in the show that is our name repeated just 50 or 60 times. And I feel so bad because at the end of the number, still nobody knows your name.
Well, it's just because those characters weren't in the movie. So
yeah, exactly.
You don't like
So how is Aladdin on Broadway different to the Disney movie?
I mean, it's the same story that you know and love, but there are a couple of key differences. One of which is my character. So originally in the animated feature, Aladdin had 3 friends and Jasmine had 3 attendants. And then higher ups came down, saw a cut of the movie, and were like, "This is too long. It's too many people. Cut it down." They were testing well with animals. Lion King was coming out. Blah blah blah. So they turned him into Apu and Raja, the monkey and the tiger. And then when Casey Nicola got asked to do the Broadway show, he was like, I don't want puppets. I don't want any of the stuff that we've done with the Lion King. I want to do something different. And I want to do the original story and Unpowered Ashman. So all of these songs were already written. There's storyboards of these characters doing some of the numbers that we get to do. So you're actually seeing the original story before it was the animated story, which is super cool.
And we both got Casey Nicola directed Book of Mormon as well. So
way.
So we have we're Broadway brothers in that sense.
And was Bibao your director? Or your resident?
You know what's crazy? He came in after me, but he was our associate director. I'm like yeah, it was, but Bibao was, he came on later and learned the show while I was like around the same time. So Bibao and I like same time with Mormon, but now he doesn't probably do any of Mormon, I'm assuming. Maybe he's going in.
I don't really know. I think he's just recently been moved up in position to like associate director of kind of all
of the stuff.
All of the stuff.
I'm upset
for Disney.
For Disney.
Whoa.
I think it's a Disney posting.
Honestly, for that, Bibao is like one of the coolest. I'm obsessed with Bibao. Great director,
Completely
really chill,
agree.
makes you feel comfortable, lets you play, but within the scope of a character, lets you find a character and then like helps you mold. I don't know if that's how he was with you, but
that's literally this speaks directly to something that we just put out on our YouTube channel for the Broadway Studio, our company, and we did a Death Becomes Her review. And when I went and saw Death Becomes Her, I went to the opening night because I had friends in it, and I just kind of was so blown away that I went the very next day. I went to my PSM and to Bibao, and I was like, "Hey, can I just have a week to play?" And I've done this show, like I've played this role the whole time I've been in the show, which means I've done this role over 1,000 times. I think like 1,100 times at this point. And I was like, "Can I just have a week to see if I just play with this new kind of frame of reference?" And he was like, "Absolutely." Yeah, absolutely. Bibao, you won't go too far.
Yeah, and Bibao, he awesome. Trusts you. Like I like, because I got to go in as McKinley, and Bibao still wasn't my. Bibao came in after, like, was later after McKinley, but he was like, "Let me learn." Like he was like, "I'm letting you, like you know who he is, so like let's tighten this up." And he actually, that's what a director's supposed to do. Yeah. It's supposed to like take out you, like what is your best quality and put it into the character, and that's what makes characters really special. And these long running shows can get into such robotic. And I mean, I did over 1,000 performances of Mormon, and you get into that place where, but if you have a director that lets you play and not gonna like smack you when you're like, you're saying you should have said the line this way, it honestly lets you do the show longer, like it's really magical, right?
Because there's just more room to play, but it's within a really great playground.
And
like a really structured playground. You have everything you need to do, but you can be like, I kind of want to be over here today and see what this does. And also when you have different covers on, and when you have different other principles, like it has to be a little bit different. And he is a director that really understands giving you that space, which I could not appreciate more.
Well, he's so big on like, you're telling a story, and how do you tell the story? I'm revisiting Bob Gaudio right now in Jersey Boys.
I saw that in one of the other episodes. Congratulations, that's awesome.
Thank you. But it's interesting because I'm with a whole different cast. It's the same thing. You're like, okay, I'm finding new things about Bob Gaudio that I didn't think I had. I was like, I think I'm done with Bob. Like he's so like square, and there's some more isms that I'm loving about him. Anyway,
I think it's the mark of a really good director to trust their actors because you've made it to this spot in your career for a reason. You've got good instincts. You've been there, done that, and for a director to trust you to make your own decisions, and obviously the structure is integral to how the piece is shown to the audience in the end. But if you're able to play within that, come up with your own things, it's going to be your Kasim, and you're going to own that version. It's going to be yours and people are going to remember you for that. And I got to ask, credit to actors all around because doing that many shows of something, you could phone it in, it through and through and you're still going to be amazing. But the fact that you still want to learn and branch out and be even better, that's freaking awesome. And I just want to ask, what did you discover new about your character in that kind of time you got to play?
Oh, it was, I appreciate that. And I'm going to put a pin out here to pull later for talking about what you said about good directors. Oh, come on. Stan. The thing that I discovered was watching Megan Hilty and Jennifer Simard, and knowing Christopher Gattelli pretty well.
Yeah, love
he actually gave me my first job in the city. I did an Easter bonnet for him, and it was like me, Nick Adams, Michael James Scott, who became we have the same friend group.
You and I just need to sit down because of do you know Nathan Madden?
Of course.
Yeah, and I just did an audition with him last week, 2 weeks ago, and we were just naming up everybody we know, and we're like, and I was talking to him today or yesterday, and I was like, oh, I'm getting ready to interview Colt, and he was like, I went to school with Colt. I'm like,
literally,
our 6 degree of separation is wild.
Yeah. But that's the thing. That's one of the things that we tell all of our students is like this business is so small. It's so incredibly small. Yeah. Everybody, and casting directors will call you and be like, hey, what do you think about this person? Have you worked with them before? And it's a very, very small community, especially of working actors. Like it inevitably is.
And you see these people all the time. And it's the beautiful part about Broadway, but also part of the reason why the hardest part of the reason why I personally, Daxton, needed to leave for a little bit was to take myself out of it. And once you get seen as a certain thing, like this young Mormon boy, I was like, I have to leave because I'm gonna be I'm 30 years old. I need to be a man. I can't be an 18-year-old for my whole life, but you go into a room, all they do is see you as an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
And because you're you did Mormon. And so you have that ingrained. So I was like, I have to get this out of me.
Right.
But
that was the dance stuff for me for a long time.
I was going to ask, because you sing well and you're really funny. Aladdin's one thing you're doing and it's a great job, but you were hilarious in The Merry Gentleman.
Oh man.
Thanks, dude. That's awesome.
And I got to watch it with Tiffany and I was I was mad because I'm like, not only is he so hot, but he's funny. And it's it's great. You know your beats, you know what you're doing, and not everybody knows their body as well as you do, but also knows how to be funny, especially for TV. TV's harder to be fun, and you nailed it.
I appreciate that.
Thanks, a cheesy Christmas movie, which we all are part of. But you were funny, and
we also knew what we were making, which was the best part of it. Chad was so instrumental in that. One of the first things he said in the first day of rehearsal was, somebody's got to be watching out for us. We need to know what movie we're making, and we need to know when things look too far on camera but don't feel it. And then by the end of it, it was kind of just rolling through. We knew where we were.
How long did it take you guys to shoot? Was it a 2-3 weeker?
No, I think it was four weeks, and then we had a couple of weeks of rehearsal before that. So when I was you were talking about doing with different casts and different companies of Jersey Boys and Book of Mormon, because you did Broadway and the tour, right?
I saw a lot of casts.
Right. And I did the first national because my wife was on the first national of Aladdin for all 3 years, and I joined in the last year, and then COVID, and then I did a quick stint on Broadway, and then I went out on this. We both went out on the second national tour, and then I'm now on Broadway of Aladdin. So she's done it 2,000 or 2,500 times. I've done it.
Is she in the
1,200.
ensemble, or does she cover?
She was in the ensemble and she covers the attendance.
Got it. Okay.
Wow.
And is she off tour now?
Yeah. Oh,
Is the
yeah.
show- is
so
the show even on
actually,
tour?
the tour's closed. The coolest part was I found out about the Married Gentleman, and the first rehearsal happened when we were in like Fresno or something, because we ended on the West Coast. We ended in Orange County. And it was like 2 weeks before the end of tour. We were in Fresno, so I would drive down, like I took a show off and drive down to rehearsals. And then when we were in Orange County, I would drive up every day, rehearse for the movie, and then drive back down and do the show.
Whoa.
We came down, we had our closing night show on Sunday. And then on Monday, Netflix gave me the day to move up to LA, and we started shooting on Tuesday.
Bam.
My
It
goodness.
was like the most perfect
The
timing. I
stars
was
are in
just so
alignment.
stoked.
Yeah. Oh,
Were
good.
you
And then-
exhausted? Was that a crazy period of time?
Yes, and the tour itself had been pretty rough. The schedule, it was a lot of 1 weekers. Like tour one, I think the first year on a first national tour, especially of that size and scope, we did. Ange did 5 cities in 1 year.
My
Wow.
my second year on Mormon, we did 6 cities. That's it.
Yeah,
It was amazing. It's so amazing. Yeah.
it's the best, especially
Yeah.
when you get to wherever you live. Because like we had a place in LA, and so we were in LA for 3 or 4 months, and so we just lived at home.
Yeah.
And then San Francisco, we were there for 4 months, and it was over the holidays, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all of that. And so we were like, let's get a nice spot, and we got a nice spot, and we were in this beautiful home for 4 months. It was,
Wow.
but
unreal.
the second tour was a new city every week,
Yeah.
and
That's hard.
that drags on you,
Yeah.
That's when
especially because we drive the tour.
I
so-
drove my tour as well. That's when I had
Let's
to start.
go.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the way. That's the way to see the country. If you're
That's how I
gonna
got
tour
all
the country,
50 states.
tour
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Have you been to all 50
There it is.
states?
Oh yeah, I think I've played in all 50 states at this point,
Oh,
because
really?
we did Alaska,
Did you
on this
Alaska?
tour.
Did you do
Mhm.
North Dakota?
Fargo.
South Dakota?
Just list every state.
No, because those are those are
No, because
very-
those are the ones where you're like,
yeah, like
oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I've driven through them, but I never performed in North or South or Wyoming.
Mm.
Billings.
I don't know.
It's Billings,
I'll have to-
Montana. That's
Billings,
where
Montana.
People tour through.
I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It's
no,
the most-
we
I
caught him.
think
We
that-
caught him.
yeah.
I caught him.
Sorry.
I caught him.
Daxton,
You guys,
right?
Finally.
I do not want to get caught up in another one of Dax's things and get dragged.
You're gonna get dragged. No, you gotta be careful about his followers.
It's
because,
Hayden's followers.
because Hayden's
Oh.
followers are ruthless, not mine.
Okay.
Mine are
So
sweet, and they're gonna love every bit of you.
They will.
And
Look, my followers will love you too. I don't know what Dax is on about, but they'll love you.
don't talk. Here's the things you don't talk about: dogs.
Dogs.
Do you have a dog?
Do you have dogs?
Oh,
Oh
he's got
my
two.
God.
See if
He's got two.
They're so freaking cute. Missy and Maya.
Missy and Maya. So Missy unfortunately passed about 2 years ago.
Okay.
But Maya is going strong. She's in the bedroom sleeping right now.
Live
Cute.
her
She
back.
doesn't like when I'm over here.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe Maya
just,
will
like,
get an
working.
appearance after the break. So
Watch
now-
out, but be
heck
ready
yeah.
for the tears.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if we see Maya,
weeping.
Okay.
Let's watch Hayden cry
We're-
after this break.
I need to take because I want to talk about some allyship because you are a strong ally in a being a straight man, and it's really important to me that I
Yeah.
bring
So
that up.
after this break, we'll bring that up. I also want to hear more about Merry Gentlemen. We're going to talk about. I want to hear about like gym routine and how getting ready for the music clip with Pink. So we're gonna
and we have to play a game.
and we got a game lined up. So stay tuned after this break. More with Colt.
I've done a little research, and I have an idea for your fans' nicknames. I'm not gonna lie. I went straight to Chat GPT for this one,
Yeah.
and
Lord.
this is what
Straight boys and
it opened
ChatGPT.
up with. They came with some lame names, the Daxtonators.
Oh, I love it. It's so
Absolutely
bad.
not.
It's
Ew,
so
that is
bad.
terrible.
Yes.
The Bloomquist Brigade,
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bloomquist Brigade.
Bloomquist Believers,
No.
Ooh, that's
No.
very lame.
No.
Love it.
and the Daxton Bloomers. Now, I don't like any of those.
What
so
about
I
the
went- I
Bloomers?
said,
We could call them
let's
the
go
Bloomers.
animal names,
Yeah.
Okay.
because you guys are talking about animal names.
Yep.
Daxton's Wolves,
Mm.
Daxton's Tigers,
Ooh,
Yep.
I like the Tigers.
the Bloomquist Panthers.
Mm.
Ooh, you've got really strong animals.
Yeah, right. Daxton's Badgers. That one got me.
We love a badger.
The Bloomquist Bengals. And I think it's the Quist that's taking it. So what if we went back to the Bloomy Bears?
The
Bloomy Bears, because you're the Drop Bears and I have the Bloomy Bears. Oh,
we could go.
Cole, honestly, that is a really good idea.
Okay, the Bloomy Bears v Drop Bears.
Honestly, welcome to the show, Bloomy Bears.
We've been trying to name you for so long.
Look at you. Joining in the creative aspects.
We had to do a little bit of research.
Maybe you'll get a producer credit now. Speaking of producing credits, you've produced your own. It's like I guess producing, but you've created your own company.
Yeah.
In the theater realm. So this is all theater based. Can you tell us? Literally, you were telling us right before we jumped.
Switch hats real quick.
Oh yeah.
Producer hat.
And guys,
there we go.
Oh, look at this.
He's got costume changes. I love it.
You got to.
Wait a minute. So why we're still in this theater world before we get into the things I really want to talk about.
Like your feet size.
Yeah.
Because I know you got that coming.
You know that's coming. The Bloomy Bears know it's coming too.
Yeah.
Oh, it works so good, Colt. The Bloomy Bears.
I do what I can.
Oh. I might have to have some shucked.
If you aren't,
I'm gonna have a little sip of shucks.
Okay, do it. If you aren't watching right now, Colt has just put on a very cool hat, which I would love with the Broadway Studio's very own company. I'm looking at the website right now. You got to go check out the website. Colt, tell us a little bit about your studio.
Yeah,
I appreciate you. The Broadway Studio is a place that we created because I've been really fortunate. I've been teaching since I used to tour with Pink. I used to be a backup dancer for Pink, which we're going to talk about.
Don't you worry.
And I started teaching back then about 10, 11 years ago. So since then, between me and Angelina, my wife, we've taught at about 500 plus schools internationally.
Wow.
And every time that we do it, we do a Q&A at the end of it. And you ask, there's always one kid or parent or teacher that says, like one specific question, and Dax, I'm sure that you've doing master classes, you get this one too, which is like, if you had one piece of advice, what would it be? And you're like, well, train. Just find the thing that makes you undeniable. Train. Find the teachers you like. Find the voices you like. Train. And they're like, you see them light up, and they're like, oh my God, yes, I want to do that. How do I do that? Where do I go? And I'm like, are you rich?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't have an answer for you. And I got kind of tired of not having an answer for where they could find that information. So this is the first phase of us building that. And so now this is a place where people can come and train. And we've got 3 different, ways you can do it. You can do a la carte audition coaching, or you can do a monthly intensive, or you can do our Live in New York program with us, all at varying ranges of price, but it's all leading to something, the expansion pack, as I'm calling it, that will make Broadway education accessible to everyone, which is my goal. I want the kids that are in Fargo, North Dakota, or, in Montana that don't have access to us and master classes to get the information. That's what we do on our YouTube channel. We try to give away as much information as possible. On our podcast, we try to give them the information that they don't have access to, and hopefully we can bring them classes in the future. And if this is a pay-to-play industry, which is what Izzy McAuliffe from Shucked actually said in one of our things, she was like, look, the reality is it's just an expensive thing, and it starts in elementary school, in those arts programs. And we're not going to be able to change the fabric of Broadway and the stories that are told to actually represent people if we don't get a more representative demographic of everybody. And to do that, we have to be able to reach people who don't have the money. I didn't have the money. I got really lucky that somebody sponsored me to go on my first trip to New York, where, by the way, my first show that I ever saw was Seussical the Musical, which Casey Nicola was in. My second show was Aida at the Palace, the original company at the Palace Theater. And then fast forward 10 years, I make my Broadway debut in West Side Story at the Palace Theater. All of that was because somebody made it possible for me. They gave me access. And I feel a responsibility to be in service.
Where are you from originally?
From Georgia.
Okay.
From Atlanta.
Got it. Yeah, because I'm a small kid I'm a small town Kansas kid. And I tell people now that I'm like, if the Broadway world right now, and TV world, everything is so competitive. Like the Broadway world now is just as competitive, I think, as the TV world. And if you don't have a network in New York, it's 20 times harder. If you don't have, and that's what it's like. I think what you're creating right now is a network, and it's to meet people and to learn from people that are living in, because it's cutthroat, and it's the same thing with us here right now in LA. Is like we're creating networks, and like network. I always my advice is always like, be nice to everybody, but network. Like know who you like.
You know what I tend to say instead of network, just for me personally, it's community.
Like
I'm here to build, and I know that's what you mean.
Yeah.
It's just the
creating
because
your
the word
network,
networking for me early on, when people used to be like, "You're gonna have to network," I was like, I don't want to do that. But then I found myself being so introverted and so like kind of anti networking that I ended up not building a community.
Yeah. Because I always like try to tell kids, learn to be yourself and don't try to be somebody else. 'Cause that's hard. Like, I mean, that's still like doing that. The more, the older you get, the easier it is to be like, shuck you. Like, like literally shuck you. I'm going to be whoever I want to be. And, but that's hard, especially in a community that like, this shows success, but like the most success you can have is when you're just being yourself and stupid and silly
and one thing I found, I think it's so important that you're bringing affordable training and information to people. I've taught acting for a long time, and it's funny when people really work to pay for a course that you're teaching, they're the ones that are going to get the most out of it, because they had to work their butts off to be able to afford some training. And so they're the ones who are going to learn their lines. They're the ones who are going to study in their own time. And you can find these really talented nuggets by giving them affordability. That's a blessing to them, because, you're going to find some nugget in the rough, a diamond, who scrounged up enough money, and you're going to watch them soar because you gave them an opportunity from the beginning.
If I was like a little kid in South Dakota, North Dakota, that doesn't get to see a lot of theater, like has interest, do they go to your website? Like do they learn via online with y'all? Like what's that vibe?
So a lot of our students, if you're in the Broadway coaching intensive or the a la carte program, or a la carte, coachings, for the most part, those are virtual. Some of them, if you're in New York City, sometimes we'll do them in person, but for the most part, those are virtual. And we find that really a lot of the time people are more comfortable in those situations, and therefore they are, like you said, more themselves.
Yeah.
And I think one of the really cool things that I want to touch on that you were talking about was being yourself and trying to find that. Lin-Manuel Miranda said something about this in an interview I was watching the other day. He said, and he said it a few times, you chase your heroes, and if you chase, and you're going to fall short.
Yeah.
But you chase your heroes, and if you chase enough different people far enough down the rabbit hole, eventually you'll end up sounding like yourself. And I love that. But you have to have those heroes available to you to chase. Because we have people that are in Broadway shows that I coach. I coach people in Chicago and Aladdin on other auditions that they have coming up. And I remind them of things, and they're like, oh man, I didn't know that person did that. Oh man, I totally forgot about that. And it's just a lot of it for professionals is reminding them, hey, remember those basic building blocks that got you to where you are?
Yep.
I'm going to help you remember those. And then and sometimes it's opening new things. And for a lot of these upcoming students, it's just that access, giving them a new frame of reference.
My other thing, well, because I move well, but I'm not a dancer, and I'm like, if you and I are going to be in the same room, you're gonna dance circles around me, and I know that. So, and I'm okay. I get what you're very aware of what my skill set is.
But I'll outdance both of you.
Yes, you will.
Yes. There it is. There it is.
I do.
Put me in my place. I like that.
But I just find the older I'm getting, the more I'm like, you know what? I know what I do really well, and I know what I want you to see, and I know that nobody is going to. You put me in a room with 5 people. People will know who Daxton is. I may not be the best singer, the best dancer, or the best actor, but I guarantee you are going to look at me. And I don't know how that's going to happen, but I will give you something to look at, something to watch, and something to be interested in. And that's usually where, because
you're memorable.
I come from like when I was in college and middle, like I didn't start dancing until 18. I didn't do any kind of like, so my goal was to always be, hey, I know I'm not going to be the best. I want to be the best. I'm going to strive to be the best. I've worked really, really hard. Like, I don't say that I haven't worked hard, but I know that I'm going to walk into a room and you're going to light up when you see me. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to walk in with either walking in with a smile on my face or however Daxton wants to do it. And it works for me. And I can stay in a room longer than some of the best dancers just because I know what I'm good at. But it takes forever to know what you're good at. But like, if they're going to try to find, if they need somebody to be a skilled dancer, there's no way I'm not going to dance. I know I'm not going to.
Well, you're going to be specific though. Yeah. You're not going to go to just the dance calls. You're not going to go in for
so it's really
ensemble of a chorus line or West Side Story. And that's one of the things that we teach. We teach be specific, know what you're going in for. So Angelina, I think, has gone to 12 auditions since I've known her. And we've been together for 15 years and we've been married for 11. And she has gone to maybe 12 auditions. Her book rate, like her close rate is like 80 or 90%. And it's because
she knows who she
doesn't
is.
go in for things that she knows who she is.
Yeah.
And this leads into the thing that our kids hear the most, our students, I shouldn't say kids because most of them are not kids, but our students for the thing they will hear the most is what is your undeniable?
Yeah.
We will find what that is. And that's what we want to drive home. And once you have that, you can get in the room and then we'll work your weaknesses. But if you're just mid at everything, it doesn't end up.
Yeah.
There's got to be something else. And that doesn't just mean singing, dancing, acting. Like there's also how good are you to work with? What kind of charisma do you have in the room? And how do we take those bundled terms and break them down? And that's what we try to do on the YouTube is give up as much free information as possible. Yeah. So you can do your work and your homework and then come to us and go, okay, I've done everything that I can with this. I want to take it to the next level.
Well, cheers to that.
Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank God we have some. I would have cheersed you, but your gift hasn't made it yet.
Fair.
You're gonna get a nice little gift.
I'm so stoked.
You'll like it. It's a really nice bourbon.
That's really beautiful. I'm glad you're doing that. I think not only theater kids can benefit from that. I think all kids could benefit from that, whether you want to do theater or not. Agree. So if you are a parent, which we have a lot of parents listen to this, let your kid, like Colt is like a really good role model. I think, and
appreciate
partially why I wanted to bring you on here was you are a strong ally. You work with a lot of gay men because you grew up dancing. And so you're really easy to be around, really comfortable to be around, just like Hayden is. And it makes guys like me feel like, oh, I can say whatever I want and bro out. And you're never going to feel uncomfortable because it's not about that. And I think having a role model like Colt is so important for
having a pal like Colt.
Yeah, it's really important. So
that means the world to me.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
when I
Thanks,
met you, like when we actually met, I was like, oh my God, this guy is like so cool, so genuine, and actually funny and smart, and I'm like, I only want to put people on our podcast that I find interesting. I'm like, I don't care about Hayden. I'm like, I want to know more about, and so I'm like, come on, because like I feel like if you intrigue me, it'll intrigue him, and like you're just you're so genuine and cool, and I'm so happy you're doing that. And
that.
You went to Pebblebrook, correct?
I did.
Was it as intense as I know? Like 4 people that have gone to Pebblebrook.
Yeah, it was that intense.
It's like an intense performing arts school.
It's a okay, right, gotcha.
Yeah, so it's a performing arts high school, and so I started dancing my sophomore year, between my freshman and sophomore year, because I didn't know what musical theater was. I was there as a vocal major in the choir stuff.
And you did show choir, right?
Well, I didn't at that time.
Oh, you did.
Because I played baseball until I was 13. Like that was my whole life was baseball, and a little bit of football. which by the way, I'm so sorry about your Kansas City Chiefs. I've wanted that three-peat for y'all, and I don't mean to bring up a sore subject.
It's okay. I'm just gonna have to drink some more.
You just have another sip of that.
No, we talked about it last week, but my commercial that I was on, I made the cut, so I was like, okay,
that's all that matters. Yeah, that's really all that matters. Let's be honest.
I haven't got those checks yet.
Three-peat be damned.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna take off these Philadelphia colors.
Yeah. He like puts on.
I wish I had a third hat here just to pull out an absolute another
hat.
Philly played really well. We talked about it, but they
did. It was an intense program, but I had a better experience than most. Also, because regardless of how intense Pebblebrook was, without making it like a big heavy drama, like my home life was not one that like I needed to go somewhere and work really hard. Pebblebrook gave me the opportunity to get out of an otherwise not great situation all the time.
Dancing and theater, and acting, all that can just it changes your life. It truly does.
So I would stay at school. We had rehearsals for 4 hours after every day. Saturday and Sunday were 12-hour days. 2 weeks before school started, you had 12-hour days every day of the week for those 2 weeks, a little kind of boot camp.
Keeps you busy.
And still, I would go in an hour early. I made friends with the janitor, Byron, and he would open up the studios for me an hour or two before school because I knew I was behind. And also on my first day, the director of the program, his name was Earl Reese. I don't know if I'm just telling you the truth. So he came up to me and said, you're never going to catch up to the real dancers, so you better learn how to do tricks. And I was like, challenge accepted. So I did learn and go trick. That's how I learned how to tumble, and I became a floor tumbler. But I would come in every day, hour or two early, and then also on my lunch break at school, I would pay other students with my lunch money to teach me, who were better dancers than me, to teach me stuff. And that's how I got better.
I had somebody tell me,
because I had to play catch up.
I had somebody tell me in a regional show saying, I can't. Daxton will never tap in a Broadway show, because I was doing 42nd Street. I'm not a great tapper, but I tap fine. I was tapping.
Well, obviously you nailed that.
I tapped front and center, and I was mic'd, and I was like, F you. But what I don't like about it, I hate when somebody says you can't do something. And I think that's the competitive, sports side of me is like, no, watch me, I will do it. But that's terrible that somebody is going to be like, you'll never do that. And I hate that.
It's so unnecessary. Why would you say that to somebody?
It's like I don't know. I think maybe people telling me that at a young age, I'm at this point in my age where I'm like, you can do it. It's hard though. I put a lot of work into catching up, but I'm not trying to be. I hate that. I hate that somebody told you that. I'm sorry.
You know what? I appreciate it, but at the same time, it's like anything else. You can look at it as the hero or the villain, and it ended up becoming kind of a.
It sounds
hero
like there was a lot of adversity early on. I guess starting at 13. I mean, career dancers would say that is late, but look how you've caught up. I mean, not a great term to use, but look at you now and surpassed probably most of them. Something about adversity early on in life, I think really instills in you a drive. And I feel like you've still got that drive creating the Broadway Studio. Now you want to pass that along.
Oh, it's cranked up now. I mean, I heard a great quote that I absolutely adore. It's you can't have both a good character and an easy life. The price of one is the other.
Yeah.
Oh, deep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Can we play games now? Before Hayden can talk.
So sorry.
Here's the thing.
I love this topic. I love this topic so much. But Daxton ensures we keep it light.
God,
sorry about that. Yeah,
you two are going to sit here and talk deep the whole. I mean, I can talk.
Do that.
No. So does he.
It is so important. It's so important though, Dax. We don't. This is what it's about.
It is what I know. I knew.
I think
you know what? How about this, Hayden? We should start another podcast called Deep Allies.
Yes, deep. Yeah, allies get deep.
Take
it other allies.
And take it deep, allies.
Allies taking it deep.
Allies taking it deep. There we go. That's more like.
All right.
I'm like, oh God, they're both going to cry.
Yeah,
oh no, they're
yeah.
both going to cry.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth and I are going to just sit here and be like,
Oh, great. What
do
have
you
we
want to
gotten
have
into
another
now?
drink? I don't know. Like,
Right.
what do
Yes.
Did
Daxton,
he really? Did he drink that whole bottle of whiskey already?
I might have to.
this is Daxton's adversity. This is the adversity Daxton's got to get through. Us getting deep.
Oh, golly,
God.
real deep, you know.
After this break, we're going to talk about that famous video. We're going to play an awesome game that I worked hard on, and it's going to go for a long
Oh,
time.
and then we're gonna play.
Then we're going to have a nap. All right.
Bye.
Love you guys. See you after this. Bye.
Blondies Out Loud is brought to you by this incredible team.
Elizabeth at Ninth Planet Audio, Sean at Cut+Run, our graphic designer, David, and of course, Tiffany, Amburr, and our producers, TJ Kahn and Holly Stachnik. Thank you so much.